Hello everyone, in this video we are going to see about file handling in Python. We know that file is a collection of data. The data may be of different type. In Python we have two types of data, binary file and text file. Let us see a definition. A file is a container in computer storage devices used for storing the data. In Python, files are treated in two modes as text or binary. Each line of file is ended with a special character. To know the end of the file, we have the file end of EOF character. Same way within the file, end of the line will be also communicated by a special character. When we want to read the file or write to a file, we need to open it first. After the process is over, it needs to be closed so that the resources that are tied to the file are freed. So normally when a file is open, some resources will be allotted to by the operating system to the file, and after processing the file we have to close it. If you close the file, the resources allotted to the file, namely the memory or other things, will be released from the file so that it will be used for some other files. Hence in Python, a file operation takes place in the following order. First, open a file, process the file, that may be reading or writing or updating, and then we have to close the file. Let us see how to open the files in Python. In Python we use the open function method to open the files. So how to open it? File1 is equal to open of test.txt. So the syntax is, you have to assign a variable name, that may be any variable name as we wish. Now I have given the file1 is equal to open of test.txt. Test is the file name which is of extension .txt, and open is the function to open the file. Mode, let us see different modes of are there in the file. To just find out there are some descriptions in the how to files can be opened in different mode. So R is the one, open a file for reading, and that is the default one. W is the one to open a file for writing, creates a new file if it does not exist, or truncates the file if it exists. That means if you open the file in the write mode, already if the file is existing, it will erase the content of the old file and it will write the new content. And if there is no file just exist, it will create a new file and then start writing. Okay, then we have the X option, which is the X mode. In the X mode we can open the file for exclusive creation. This will create a file. If the file already exists, the operation fails. That means we cannot open an already existing file. Okay, so that is then failure in operation. Then we have the A mode, open a file for appending at the end of the file without truncating it, creates a new file if it does not exist. So when you have used the append mode, it adds the value to the end of the file. That means the old content will be there, the new content will be added to the end of the file. That is the process of append. The same way as the W mode is done. Now here, if there is no such a file exists, it creates a new file and start writing. So difference between the write mode and the append mode is, in the write mode the old content is truncated or erased and new content will be written, but in the case of append mode, the new content will be added to the old content. Means we can join the old content with the new content. Then we have the T mode, which is open in text mode. This is the default mode, like how default mode is R. So when you normally open a file, the file will be opened in the R mode as well as in the T mode. That means it will always open a text file to read. So that is the default mode for using a file. And then we have the other mode called B, which will specifically, if you mention, will open the file in the binary mode. And then we have the plus mode, open a file for updating. That means we can either write or read. That is the plus mode. We can write as well as we can read. That is the plus mode. These are all the basic modes in file operation in Python. There are also many other modes. These are all the basic modes of opening the file. Then let us see how to read the file with the example. So the hash open file is a comment, and then file 1 is equal to open of test.txt in R mode. So this will open the file in the read mode. And then how to read the file using the function read content is the variable name that is equal to file1.read. So read is the method. So we are applying the read method on the file f1, which is the file pointer, and the result, that is after reading, we'll get some content of the file that will be put into the read content variable. We can assign as any variable as we wish, as a, b, c, or d. And then print read content. This will print all the contents of the file. That may be whatever the file contains, everything will be printed on the screen. That is the function of the print read content. So this is a simple Python code of how to open the file and read and print the content, and finally we have to close the file. That is done by file1.close. Close is the method to close the file. So that's all the simple Python code for how to read, write something and close the file. Let us see with the example how the with open works. In Python, we can use the with open syntax to automatically close the file. For example, with open file name comma mode as file, read content is equal to file1.read. So this function will read the data from the memory, okay, in the file. Okay, so with open is the keyword and test.txt is the file name and r is the mode as file1. That means the file1 content will be read and put into the variable file1, and read content of file1.read means the content will be read and put it into the file1, and then print of read content. This is as we just seen before, and then here there is no closing of file. Why? Because closing is not necessary if you using the with open function. So it is always safer to use the with open syntax to open and read the file. That means here we are no need to use the close function to close the file. It will automatically get closed. Let us see how to write the files in Python. There are two things we need to remember while writing to a file. So here, number one, if you try to open a file that does not exist, a new file is created. If a file already exists, this content is erased and new content will be added to the file. So this is how the writing of the Python file in Python will happen. So again the same thing is done with the with open option. With open test2.txt and comma w. There we have opened in the R because it is the read mode and we are going to read the file. Now we are opening the file in the write mode, so we are using the file name comma w as file2. Here file2 is the variable name, and then file2 contains the content from the test2.txt file, and then just we are writing how it will go to the from test2 to file2 by the function file2.write. Programming is fun. That is some content you want to write, so we are writing the content as programming is fun within the codes, and it is written into the file2. And then we write one more line as file2.write Python for beginners. So it is some other content we are writing which is into the file2. Now both the lines are written to the file2, and here we are not closing because with open need not have any close option. Now let us see what are the file methods available in Python. There are various methods available with the file object. Here is the complete list of methods in text mode with a brief description. Only the basic things are included for your convenience. There are many different modes, file methods are there. So the method number one is the close. Closes an open file. It has no effect on the file if it is already closed. That means you cannot close the already closed file. Next is the method which is read of n. This will read at most n characters from the file. Read till the end of the file if it is negative or none. Suppose if you do not mention anything as n, if it is only -1 or if it is left empty, it will read the end of the file. That means all the contents will be read. But if you mention n, means only n characters will be read. We can mention 100, 200 or any number of characters. That is the read of n function. And then we have readable is the Boolean function which will return the value as true or false. Return true if the file stream can be read from the. Suppose if the file is readable, we can read something from the file. That time the answer will be true. And then Suppose if we mention a read line of n is equal to -1 means it reads and returns one line from the file, reads in at most n bytes if specified. So now here this function, as it is read line, it reads a line. Okay, and if you don't mention anything, it will read at most n bytes. So some n bytes if you specify, like how you are using in the read method, same way we can use the read line method also. That many bytes will be read. Okay, next we have the function called read line of n is equal to -1. Read lines, that is read line, this read lines, that means we can write many lines, a list of lines from the file. If it is mentioned, it will read at most n bytes or characters if specified. So now there are a few more file methods with the write function also. Before that we have the file number. File number is an integer number which will return the file description of the file. So any file will have the file ID, which is a description. So that will be returned if we mention the function file number. Flushes the write buffer of the file stream. The entire content of the file will be removed, that is called flush. And then we have the writable as the boolean function. It returns the value true or false. If it is ready to be written, it will be in the answer will be true. If you are not able to write, means it answer will be false. So before writing into the file, we can check this condition. If that file is readable, yes means we can start writing. So if it is readable, it also give the answer as true. Then we have writes yes. This will write a string to the file and returns the number of strings of characters written. So this will specifically write some number of strings. Okay, some strings into the file. So that is the function of writers. And write lines of lines means this will write a list of lines. That means we can write a list of lines into the file. That's the write lines. And that's all the few methods in which the file can be used. Hope it is easy and simple to follow, and thanks for watching.